Welcome back. This is the Premier League preview show on Citi TV. My name is Nathan Kwa. I've got Sydney Antonio and Edwin Kwakofi here with me. Let's get into the final game of our hop around. And it's the biggest one of the weekend. It's Tottenham Hotspur welcoming Liverpool. Now, my production team has put together some stats. We'll have a look at those stats in a bit if we have them. But we can move on. If we don't have those numbers, we can talk about... Okay, so Spurs have won only one of their last 21 Premier League encounters against Liverpool. Yeah. That's a very horrible record.
Very damning.
Okay, and
Liverpool have won 14.
Liverpool have won 14. Yes. So Liverpool do have Spurs' number. And then we see that Son Heung-min has 5 goals this season. And all these 5 goals have been scored away from home. So he's not scored at home this season. And Mo Salah has scored or assisted in his last 12 Premier League games. In 6 games this season, he has 3 goals, 4 assists. Our very good friend Susu Graham had always described Mo Salah. He says he's the Premier League's greatest winger. A few months ago, if you asked me, I'd have shut that assertion down. But when I go back and watch Mo Salah's numbers again, especially from an assist point of view, I tend to understand why he would make the argument. Because I feel it's a part of his game that's not mentioned a lot, but he does create. Now, Liverpool have scored in their last 15 games against Spurs, but have kept only clean sheets in 2. So, what does this tell us? The two teams like to score against themselves. Liverpool do have a good record, but it looks like they don't keep clean sheets at Spurs. Sydney, let me take your... Okay, before I listen to Sydney, let's have a look at Liverpool. So we've seen Spurs. They played Arsenal in the North London derby. Let's see Liverpool's last league game. It was against West Ham at home at Anfield, and they won that game by 3-1. All right, Liverpool winning by 3-1 in that game. So that's how they got ready to take on Spurs in North London over the weekend. Edwin, this is quite interesting. Liverpool, we expected them to be at this level after wobbling a bit last season, you know. But it's Spurs who have surprised everybody because they've had to live their life without Harry Kane. Ange Postecoglou is coming to a league he's not managed in before. And they are holding up really, really, really well. They've been very impressive in terms of their stats. They passed their first big test. You can say they drew, but Liverpool is a different animal.
Well, I think Spurs have passed 2 tests actually, beating United.
They beat Man United
and then drew with Arsenal. And as you said, they've had a very good season. I think the lowered expectations because of the exit of Harry Kane is also helping. I think the players seem to have taken some pressure off themselves, and they've made some really good signings in the summer, especially, of course, James Maddison, who's coming. He's just slotted into that midfield, and he's become central to the way they play. Everything seems to go through him, and it's allowing players like Son, Richarlison, Kulusevski some time to build themselves into the season. We've already seen Son, he started scoring again, Kulusevski as well, even Richarlison.
Although Son scores only away from home.
Only away from home. But even Richarlison has ended his goal drought. But as you said, Liverpool are a different animal this season. They are quietly having a few good months without people really noticing. As you said, they've not lost in their last 12 games. Fantastic for Liverpool. Imagine, even City don't have that kind of record. And I think it's down mostly to the attacking side of play. They have very, very good attackers in Salah, obviously, Diogo Jota. Darwin Núñez is starting to get into his own. They've got back Luis Diaz from injury at a very good time as well. And they've got 2 midfield signings in Szoboszlai and McAllister, who are very huge and significant upgrades on what they had last season. So you've solved that midfield problem. You've just added more goals to your attack. The only thing that could possibly hold Liverpool back this season and in this game against Spurs is their defense. And we saw in the game against West Ham how open their defense is at times. Even Van Dijk, who had been an assured presence in that Liverpool defense for a few years, is looking really shaky. His timing, his reaction time to things has really slowed down. On one side, either Trent Alexander-Arnold or Gomez, not the best defensively, and you have Robertson, who seems to have slowed down a lot in recent years. So their defense is a huge problem for them, and if they can solve that aspect of their play, Liverpool are a team to watch this season. I'm worried that they don't impose themselves on games right from the off.
Okay.
They seem to prefer, or rather, maybe they don't have a choice, come back from a goal down, come back from not performing well. Against West Ham, they should have been 2-0 down. Against Newcastle, they should have been out of the game. In midweek in the Europa League, they should have been out of it as well. But they have this resilience that allows them to come from behind. But unfortunately, going into this game, you are going against a team that also has a similar resilience. They came back later on against Sheffield United, did Spurs, and against Arsenal as well. They don't let their heads drop. So you have two teams that don't let their heads drop. It's going to be a game filled with goals. I think the side that is a little more solid, or more solid than the other team defensively, wins this. And this game is going to be decided on how the two defenses play.
Interesting. Sidney, from the numbers we saw earlier, clearly nobody's keeping a clean sheet in this one.
No, definitely not.
But if you were Ange Postecoglou, you play Arsenal one weekend, you fight back and you show your powers of recovery. Twice you go down, twice you fight back. But Liverpool, they are a different type of team.
Yeah,
how do you plan for Liverpool if you're Ange Postecoglou?
If I'm Ange Postecoglou, I would just stick what I do. And hearing him over the past couple of weeks, you can see he's a coach who is very sure in his methods. He's a coach who is very confident in the way his team plays. He's a coach who I don't think is going to alter too much from the style of play he has been building. And I think that will serve us, the neutrals, in good stead, because we'll be entitled to a banger of a game, because these are two games, two teams who will definitely go all out for the win. And very interesting to see. Spurs, I'm a bit cautious to just jump on the bandwagon just yet, because we have seen similar stats from Spurs. Under Mourinho, they were flying the first games of the season. They beat United 600 points. They were beating Southampton 5-2. They were just going. And under Conte, I think the earlier in his reign, they put the beginning of the season was so very strong. They put a lot of good games together, and it's something we know they can do. But it remains to be seen if the Spursy term would also have effects on Ange Postecoglou's team. But from what I've seen so far, if I were to be a Spurs fan, I'll be quietly confident that he can take this team forward, especially because some of their worn-out leaders, the likes of Hugo Lloris and co, are no longer there to door the training ground atmosphere. So now we have a fresh set of players, the likes of Eric Dyer and co. They are no longer there, and we have new guys. Destiny Udogie is looking very fantastic. The centre back they got, the Mickey Van der Ven, he looks very capable. They are midfield pairing of Sarr and Bissouma, African Union. They are doing the job for them. And Madison, of course. Madison has been breathtaking. He's looking like the Madison. No, last season we didn't really see him in his pomp and glory. But he's looking at the Madison of, I would say, 2-3 seasons back. Very creative, very sprightly, very nifty, and all that. So it's going to be, and of course, you have the likes of Richarlison, who finally has broken his duck, popped up the goal last time. We have the likes of Kulusevski still chipping in, showing the obvious quality on the game. So very interesting, and I would say that even though Spurs are looking very good, I still tip Liverpool to win, because Liverpool are looking so strong. And although they have all these defensive issues, I think the mentality is a crucial aspect that would always stand them in good stead. You can come down, you can be down first half if you have the mentality to, and they have the quality, obviously. So that combination of the two, I think, is deadly. The win against Newcastle, I think it really did wonders for their mentality. Going to St. James Park, being down to 10 men for such a long period and coming away with the win, I think it has really boosted their morale. And they have been looking very good. As Edwin said, they have revamped their midfield. unlike some teams, they didn't buy midfielders with back injuries. Everybody came in fresh and ready. I don't know how in modern day you can go and buy a player and the first 2 games he's has a back injury. But Liverpool didn't do that. They did their scouting well. They got players who come and fit into the ethos of the team, and we are seeing it paying dividends for them already. So I think tomorrow. I mean, it's tomorrow. Tomorrow the league kickoff will be a banger.
You tip Liverpool.
I tip Liverpool. I think they are just too strong for Spurs at the moment.
Edwin?
Look, I think they are matched. I'm looking at a draw.
A draw?
Yes.
We'll see about
a very
that.
high-scoring draw.
We'll see if Tottenham Hotspur can fight and get themselves another point, or they can do the unthinkable and beat Liverpool, or Liverpool will show up, strut around and pick up all 3 points from North London. This is still the Premier League preview show. We'll take a very quick break. When we come back, we'll get into the debate, and then we'll do some fantasy football a little later. We'll be right back. Don't go anywhere.